to go into coaching forms real quick because we got about 10 minutes left. But the coaching forms is I'm going to let something like Chloe's going to train a lot on the coaching forms. And then I'm going to tell you guys how why the questions are being asked, why they're being asked. Let me find the coaching forms.
And I'm really sorry this went over, but it's such a packed in training that if you need to take like, right when you're sharing this with your downline, tell them, look, watch half now, watch half and then watch that rest later. But it's just so important that we can't skip steps with it. So
can you guys right now?
You're sharing why are you sharing my whole desktop?
I'm not, am I?
Yeah, you are.
All right, hold on, stop share screen. There we go.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so you go ahead and start training on the coaching.
You and this. It's Justin in the full. Oh. What are you doing?
I haven't done anything.
Figure it out, Zoom. Okay, so there we go. I cannot stand that full screen thing. So, coaching forms. All right, the way that. What? So, I want you guys also to know that we're still gonna leave even though we're going over. We're gonna leave about 10 minutes at the end of this for questions. Specifically on coaching, I want you guys to ask me everything maybe that you have struggled with or came across. Nobody wants to coach with me. People are gonna wanna coach with you when they see you're consistent. Consistency is key. I was doing coaching calls when only one person in my whole team wanted to do them. And that's when I had a team or a group of 500 people. I had maybe one person that wanted to do it. So what I want to say is you need to take everything that Justin said into account about trust and about building that trust, because again, the more that they trust you, the more that they see that you are consistent in your business, the more that they see this is what we do, right? That's why you'll see when I do a coaching call with somebody, what do I do? Say in the comments what I do. When I do a coaching call with somebody, what do I do? I'm going to tell you guys what I do. I screenshot it and I share it and I tag them. Why? I want my leaders and my directors to see this is what we do until it's drilled in their brains that this is what I'm doing. This is effective. This is working, and I'm going to keep showing you guys till you're ready to hop on board, baby. Sometimes you got to be one of one until people jump on the ship. Until they come on board with you, you have to keep doing the right thing. So again, if your upline or your leader is not using coaching forms, this is the time where you stop saying, I'm not doing them because I wasn't taught, because you're being taught right now by the people that created them what they're for. So I'm going to walk you through what these are. So these are created, and Justin walked away, and I don't know why, but he's going to go over like the simple process of how to make, how to do this through a Google Drive. It is not hard, okay? But can you explain really quick, please, with the Google Drive before I go into these, how they make them? Because they have to make their own.
Yes. So what I'm going to show you guys is this. So you go, if you have a Gmail account, which is very important, it's free to have. I recommend anybody who does not have Gmail, get a Gmail account. Reason being is because there's these Google Docs, Google Drive, everything that you can save things through that you can free stuff off of your desktop to where it's on a cloud drive to where you can access it from any computer in the United States, anywhere in the world. So if you go to forms.google.com, it's going to look like this. All right. I'm going to go back to this. Forms.google.com. Type it here. Yep. Forms.google.com. All right. This is how it's going to look. You can create a blank form. All right. The cool thing about Google Forms is it does everything for you. And you can go in here, you hit blank. It's going to pop up like this. And you can title the form whatever you want to title it. You can put anything you want to in here. So you can add a multiple choice question, you can add a short answer, a paragraph, whatever you want to, and create your own forms, and you can send it to people, they respond to it, and then you get it back in the responses and you can print it off, which is an effective tool, activity times equals R, that I told Chloe she needed to start doing and creating the accountability in her people to where they have to do this 24 hours before a coaching call. That way she can have everything printed off so she knows what she's already going to talk about with them.
Or if I don't have time to print it off, if I'm in the car, if I'm mobile, you can pull it up. So listen, I'm going to say this. You may still be super resilient and be like, I'm not going to make these. I'm just going to print them out or I'm going to email them. You can do that, but eventually you're going to have to evolve. And the sooner you do this right here, the sooner you're streamlining systems for your business as a leader. If you're a star consultant and you don't have these forms, that's an issue. And I'm not saying that to be ugly. I'm saying you are a star consultant and you need to sit down and you need to take the time to create these, because when they're created one time, you're done. When they're created once, when people reply, which maybe Justin can show that, when they reply to you,
responses.
So you can see my responses. So when they reply, and I actually have the Drive app in my phone. Okay?
You can download it. Yeah.
You need to download this app.
Here,
Google,
let me stop sharing.
it's called, no, you don't need to stop the share. It's called Google Drive. It looks like this.
Can they see you though doing that? Do I need to stop sharing?
I'm not for sure.
I'm gonna stop share so that you can show it.
So it's really bright. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, so it's DRIVE, okay? It's a yellow line, a blue line, a green line. It's in a little rectangle. So you need to download that, because what I do is I go into my Drive and I click my folder. And listen, guys, if you want it bad enough, you'll learn how to do it. Quit saying you don't know how to do Google Drive. Quit saying you don't know how to have 2,000 PRV a month. Quit saying you don't know how to recruit. If you want to do it, Google is your friend and you will find out how to do it. But we are teaching you right now the most effective and efficient way for you to do this, okay?
All right.
So
now let me
listen, let's back up. So guys, these forms, they will definitely be in the Google Drive that we share with y'all, okay? So you'll be good. So literally what you're gonna do is you're gonna open up let's start with certified consultant one, which I am really big on right now. When my people hit certified, the next step that we do, I have a coaching call next week with one of my new certifieds that's on fire. She got this form, okay? She may have already filled it out because she is a boss. Not yet, actually, but you can see too, this one already promoted. Jamie is on her way, okay? But what you're gonna do is you're gonna make your form. You don't have to put these up top. These are just things Justin created.
So, but let me explain why. Because on these coaching forms, it's not about you telling them what to do, because again, they are their own business owner. It's about giving them resources for them to be successful and letting them self-assess. So for a certified consultant, which you can see here, understanding your pay is very important, because it understands and makes them realize what behaviors they need to focus on. So this link, they'll click on it and it takes them to a video that's on your workstation if you show that Jason Harwood did on how to understand compensation.
And they can copy it like this, right?
Yeah,
guys?
They can copy the link. Yeah,
so you'll copy it, and then when you're making your own through the process Justin just showed you.
Yeah, they get coached before they get on the call. That's exactly right, Whitney. That's
yes. You can copy and paste this. Now listen, this is also why this is new. Justin added these. He added.
As a coach, it's all about self-assess, because self-assessing and somebody being constructive on themselves is what's going to create. It's going to create the behavior change you want. So what's on here? Sensational Start, because they are a new consultant. They're certified, but it teaches them how to be a sensational start and the different levels of what they get.
And for example, I am coaching one of my new certifieds who joined 2 weeks ago. This is what we're talking about. You should be starting coaching calls at certified. That's the first problem. You guys are not focusing, and I know this because I did this, you're not focusing on next step with certified. It's, well, maybe they'll be lead. No, you need to coach them on sensational start level 3, baby.
In the first 70 days, your goal should be to get all of your new consultants.
2 or 3.
Tough.
2 or 3.
2 or 3 is what they need to be.
And so they'll get that. Guys, and Justin, where's this from? All from the workstation?
Everything's on the workstation. I didn't make this. You just Google.
Not Google.
Sorry, you just search on the Scentsy Success tab that's on the top of your desktop, all this stuff. So like Sensational Start, it's on there. And guess what? Shooting Star. A lot of people have questions about that. That's on there too.
Wait, stop. So let's.
Right there.
Okay.
Sell at least 5 Shooting Star Award. It talks about the new consultant awards.
And listen, I don't know where he found these. I'm just going to be real with y'all. So I'm going to have him put these in the Google Drive. So there is no excuse as to you guys not knowing where to find this. So what you're doing when you're making your form, you're plugging this stuff in, okay? Listen, if you have questions about this and you have Googled it and you have tried to figure it out and you've watched this video, then at that point, I want you reaching up to your superstar director, because all 4 of us know how to make these. And I don't mean reach out because you tried one time and didn't Google it. I mean, you need to give this a shot. We literally just showed you how to create your own Google form. You are going to do it verbatim. You are going to do it the exact same way. So then you're going to see after that, Justin has congrats. You promoted to certified. So then they're already seeing this is your pay increase. This is your commission. This is your award. I'm so excited for you, right? So then they're already reading that. Like my girl's already going to see all this. And then they're going to see this is how you promote to lead. Okay? This is how you promote to lead. Then what do we have? Every form has the 3 legs. Now, I'll say the one that I showed I love, Chastity redid that one. So I do want Justin to switch to the one I showed you. And we'll pop the newer one into the Google Drive. But it's important because what do I go over on every call? The 3 legs. Now, first and last name, crucial. If you don't put first and last name, they will just put their first name. And eventually you're going to have people with the same name and it's a problem. Now, with every form, there is an option to make it required. That's this red dot, okay?
And there's that button right there, you can see it. It's
you
right
can
there.
see
You
right
just
here.
Make everything required.
Now it's not. Now it is.
Everything's required.
This is a short answer. Date of coaching call. I used to have these in the same column. You know what was happening? They were not filling out both. They would just put the date. And I mean like my directors were doing this. So you need to keep it on 4th grade level, because if you don't do it like separate, you're going to see that they're not going to know what they're doing. Okay? They're not going to fill it out all the way. So why did you join Scentsy? This is really important as a certified consultant. And I want you to know everything me and Justin have on these forms it's based off of things that we've identified that work and that influence and that motivate and help create belief and drive and understanding of self-assessment at their title. So again, these people that are making these Google forms, I'm just going to be honest, and you're just throwing stuff on there. Guys, look at what successful people are doing.
Focus on the effectiveness.
Yes, like we know what's
effectiveness.
effective. And so I'm not saying you have to do this verbatim, but guys, I'm saying do it verbatim.
And look,
you know what I mean? Like, I don't know any other way to say it, but if you're gonna, you need to go into the footsteps, especially when it comes to coaching, on what me and Justin know. We know what to ask. We know. Now, if you want to add questions, do it. You want to add stuff to fit your vibe, fit for you. But name, date of coaching call. Why did you join Scentsy? Do you know how to reach your next promotional lead?
That's important.
You know why? Because if they don't, that means they didn't read above. And that's a situation. So then we got to go, okay, well, let's open your form.
That's an effective form.
Let's open your form and let's talk about the stuff above. What is your current sales? What was last month's sales? Okay. How are you following up with your customers? This is at the time when they're certified. Guess what we're starting?
TRD is so hard.
No, guess what we're starting, guys? We're starting a system at certified.
Yeah.
This is a problem. People are certifying and they're not being trained on having a follow-up system. Okay? They're not being trained on that. They're not being told to do that. So what happens? They don't sustain PRV because they're not building customer relationships. They're not booking parties. They're not understanding that you have to follow up to get future fruit in your business. You have to have a system. So what this allows me to do when I get on the phone with my girl next week is we're going to talk about what works for you. Are you a pen and paper girl, or like, are you a tech girl? So I can see
which is effective. The activity is following up with customers as a coach.
Yeah.
What's going to be effective for them? Pen and paper, Amy, or
something else. And then have you watched the sponsoring bootcamp videos? Now this is me. So this is something you may not want to put on there because this is something I have. Have you created a dream team list for potential recruits? They're certified. They want a next step, right? So we're going to look at, okay, let's talk about a dream team list. Okay, dream team list is not, guys, it's not difficult. Keep it simple for these certified consultants. Teach them how to identify people that would be great consultants. That's a dream team list. That's what it is. Now, how many potential recruits do you have? There's some people I have that are certified already. Some of my new people, one girl already freaking recruited somebody last week. She joined 2 weeks ago. So this question is valid. And what is
we didn't tell them about that book. We should have told them.
And what is your love language? The 5 love languages is so important. I had one of my leaders today. We talked about this and I asked her what her love languages were, and it helped me understand how she feels loved and how she feels valued. That's important. You need
as a leader, you
want to know early on what their love language is. Very important, so you know how to recognize them. So, and when they fill it out, like I said, you're going to be able to click in your Google Drive app or you can go right into your Google Drive from your Gmail, which I don't think Justin showed y'all. So I'm going to show you guys, but you're going to be able to click into this, and you're going to be able to, so you can see, hopefully the right Gmail will pop up. It probably, well, it will. Okay. So when that pops up, I'm going to show you guys how to get into your Google Drive from your,
you're talking about it. I need the forms.google.com.
yeah, I don't even know what forms.google.com is. So what I do, I'm in my email. So this is my email. All right. OG Boss Babes is for my YouTube channel. I have a separate email. So you're going to go into your email, and you're going to click right here where your little picture is. The three dots.
6 dots.
Whatever. You're going to click the dots. You're going to click Drive. This is what the app looks like, by the way. Same thing. You're going to click Drive. And the reason why the app is important, because sometimes you're going to be on the go. So again, if you don't get the app, you're just skipping a step and you're going to make your life harder. If you want to do that and you want to freak out whenever you're not home in time, instead of accessing it from your phone, I'm going to tell you, you're going to cross that bridge. So if you want to alleviate that, get the app. So then you're going to see your Drive.
And then click on leadership.
And then Justin actually made a little folder for leadership.
And then click on AIM.
And then I have all mine in AIM. So you can call it coaching forms, whatever you want. And all my forms are here. So then I can click certified, what you guys saw here. But it's right through my email. Very, very simple. This is not hard. All right. And then you're going to click whatever title they filled out. And then boom, you're just going to click responses. All right. So when this pops up, response. And this is how you're going to know that they filled their form out. If they don't fill their form out, okay, if they don't fill it out within 24 hours, I am not doing a coaching call with them.
Which creates accountability in them.
Yes. So, and then you're going to click individual, okay?
Yeah,
and then you can see exactly who you have. So like I'll normally go to the newest one, and then literally you're good to go. Now these are saved. So you're making your own forms, guys. So these are yours. That's why it's so important. You can't just copy. You can't just like, oh, let me send it to you. And then, no, you got to create your own forms, okay? You're going to have mine next to yours. You're going to have yours open. You're going to create them, okay? So, certified. Now, going back, we have all the way up to SSD.
Now, I think it's important, so let's show, and this is something
there's different questions though based on the show.
So go to lead, because there's something, even from certified to lead, I add an extra video on there for to watch. So click on lead consultant.
Oh, that's what I was doing.
Yeah. And I'll explain why there's another video on there.
So, and you can see right here too, I am setting the expectation. Please fill out 24 hours prior. This form, like you, and y'all can copy this and paste it, literally. If you want to change it to fit your style, great, but understand that if you're not going to say fill out within 24 hours, guess what? They're not going to do it. You're going to be scrounging to figure out, oh, they didn't fill it out. You've wasted your time. They've wasted their time. You could have filled that slot with somebody who is worth your time. If somebody's not going to take the time to fill out a form for their business, do you really think that they need to be coached? Do you really think that that's the priority for them? No. If they're not taking the time to respect your time and to fill out that form, you kindly need to start the behaviors of, hey, and I've said this, I had a call with Bonnie the week or the week before that, and I couldn't find her form. She had sent it, but I couldn't find it. So I immediately said, hey, I can't see your form. If we don't have it, let's just reschedule. Right? Like, it's like, you got to set that expectation of them understanding this is a business. And especially if they're a leader, like, time is valuable on both ends. So you can see here, Justin has a couple things that they can click on.
So I added a new video, and the reason why I added the earn bonuses video, which is on your workstation, the reason why I added that video is because as a lead and hire, you start to get paid off TWV.
Which one?
Yeah, the bottom one. As you promote a lead consultant, you can earn bonuses now. So you can't earn those at certified, but once you promote a lead, you start earning bonuses off of TWV for your frontline essential and certified. You get 2% off of that.
And how'd you put this in? Just add?
Yeah, you just add a PDF. So
add image, see?
Add image, yeah. That's exactly what I did. I converted the PDF to a JPEG, which is very easy to do. Look, you do it. So
you did it. Okay, yeah. Easy. All right, there we go. So this one, it says, you know, again, what they need. Guys, this is the thing with coaching calls. You should be sending them something. So like Justin said, they can assess where they're at. They can already see the expectation of, look, I'm going to teach you. You need to read. If you have a leader that's not taking the time to read these things, and I'm going to be honest, I still, because we just did these forms about 2 months ago, I still have people, they're not reading. And I'll be like, did you read that? And they're like, oh, I didn't see that. So now it's like, I'm being very intentional.
That's the will versus skill.
I'm being very intentional with saying, okay, well, you need to open up your computer and I need for you to open this. Because going forward, I'm not going to play this. I didn't see it. That just means to me that you didn't value what we took the time to send you. And again, if they want to be a leader, they've got to act like a leader. And that's not being ugly. It's just like, guys, it's leadership. This is not, we're chilling watching Netflix. Like we are trying to help them understand what a leader is. And leaders need to read. Okay. So again, on this one, you'll see some of the same things. You'll see the stool, everyone, first and last name, date of coaching call. Do you know how to reach your next promotion? That's important for every form. Compensation plan. There are people in this group that don't even understand like how to get paid at title. You should know how to get paid at title. And if you're saying you don't know how to get paid at title, you need to get your little booty on the workstation.
Don't depend on your sponsor or
No.
anybody. You need to learn that yourself because that's going to your bank account.
There's a zillion training videos, guys, on the compensation plan on your workstation in the training center. So we need to make sure that these people know how to reach their next promotion. What is your current sales? What's last month's sales? Why? Sales drives everything. Why are every one of you promoting? Sales. So guess what? If these people on your teams don't have a follow-up system for sales, it's going to be a bad situation in 3 months because they're not setting a foundation, which is why Guide to Growth happened, okay? How are you following up with your customers? That should be a definite as a lead consultant, right? How many recruits have you had this month and last month? This is the point, guys, where when they are trying to get to star consultant, it is not 0 and 1. It is 2 minimum. And I say that because if you guys,
behaviors you want to recognize.
if you're going to train somebody and say, oh, it's okay, you didn't sponsor anybody. You don't grow when you don't sponsor. You don't grow when you don't train these people that you do sponsor. So what's right after how many recruits? How many are active? I don't care if you sponsored 5. If 0 are active, you know what that possibly means? You don't have a training system for how you front load and how you launch your new consultants.
Coaching.
You're not using a new consultant checklist. I know 70% of this group is not using anything to set these new recruits up for success. You're not tracking it. You don't know anything about what you're teaching them when you're training them. And so what I'm saying is the active frontline is always a reflection of you every time. So if you're looking at yours and it's low, don't be mad about it, but be real with yourself and be like,
I need to recruit, I need to train.
It's 2. If you're active frontline, if you are a star consultant and above, star consultant, in my opinion, your active frontline should be no less than 5. Superstar consultant, your active frontline should be no less than 10. Director, your active frontline should be no less than 12 to 15. You do that, you will become a very, very strong leader, okay? And that's why you don't focus on the title, you focus on your team, okay? Active frontline. And that way too, if they don't have any, how are we gonna promote to star? Well, I have my one girl and no, we ain't worried about the one girl. We need to recruit 5 other people because homegirl, if she's not going to do anything, we can't depend on her to get you your 2 active frontline to promote to star. So let's talk about how you're having joint conversations. Let's talk about Earn a Kit. Do you know what Earn a Kit is? That may be something you want to put in this form if you're not going to remember it like I do. I start talking about, do you know what Earn a Kit is? Do you know about the $99 kit? Have you clicked join on your own website to see what it says? Y'all would be shook if you know how many people in this group have never even clicked join. You should know what every tab says in your website. Every tab, Down to Scentsy Club. Next, are you having coaching calls with them? Guys, we need to start implementing for these people to start coaching and doing one-on-ones as a lead consultant, but definitely as a star consultant.
That's what, and this is 100%. A lead consultant form.
And that, yes, exactly. So we are already showing them, hey, and now guess what? We're not going to have the AIM program. We're going to have this training. So they're also learning reports. Okay. And that's important because if they haven't watched this, right? And what I do is before I send them a form now, what I'm doing, if they're a lead, they're going to get this training program we're doing tonight first, because I want them to understand foundationally what is expected as a leader, so I can help them understand how to perform and what being a leader means. Because at that point, they may watch this training and be like, it's not for me. That is so glad I'm glad you said that. You didn't waste my time. You didn't waste your time. Let's just move on. If you need me, let me know. That's what I say to my people that don't want to lead. When you're ready to work, when you're ready to lead, let me know. Okay. And then again, what is your love language? So that's lead. Now going up to star, you'll see we have a couple other questions. That's why I'm going kind of through these so you can understand my brain. So again, you're going to see this stuff up top. All right. And then the stool. Guys, the stool is on everyone for a reason. If you were reading one of these that a lead consultant did, and she has sponsored 2 people, but her PRV is $300 currently. What are we talking about on the call? We are talking about a system for PRV. We are not talking about sponsoring, and we are not talking about doing coaching calls. We are foundationally going to back the brakes up, and we're going to say, oh, we can't move to 2 until we're good at 1. Let's talk about your business and how you're growing. Because what's going to happen, they'll then become an accidental leader, and they're not going to sustain their sales, and they're not going to have the foundation. So then going down, first and last name, date that you joined.
First question is about coaching.
First question, again, coaching now. So now on star, first question is coaching. If they haven't done this program, I will not coach them now. So it's important that you're getting this form 24 hours before. Why? So you can read it and you can see, oh, let me have them do some work before we get on this call, so I can make sure that they've watched this video and they understand kind of what's going on, right? All right.
And I'll say this too. So I will, because I know we're not going to have time to go through each level.
Okay.
I'm going to put a copy of each question that I do in the drive also. I can make a PDF of these forms and I'll upload them. So you guys, if you want to make your own and look at some of our questions, you can do that.
Yeah. So moving on. This is where it gets intentional with GWV. There's a reason. Previous month PRV and GWV. Why? I want them to self-assess where they were at last month. If their PRV was garbage, but they're a star consultant, and by garbage, I mean if it wasn't 500 minimum, that's a situation. I don't care what GWV is. I care what their PRV is first, because if you don't have strong PRV as a leader, again, you're missing that first leg. You're missing the foundation. We have to back up, and we got to get a system, right, that's customizable and that's going to work for you, so you can get not only good sales, growing sales. We should not be comfortable as leaders with 500 PRV, and I understand that may hurt some feelings, but that is slow and minimal. It is minimal. That's minimal. Do you want to be minimal? No. Leaders should never, ever want to be minimal. We should always strive as a leader for 2,000 PRV. And trust me, you can. Don't say you don't have customers.
You grow. Be consistent.
No, listen, your girl's been doing this for 8 years, and I've literally recruited everybody in the world, and I still keep finding people. It's in your head. And it's because you don't want to do the extra work to grow the way that you need to grow. So going forward, so previous month PRV and GWV, current month PRV and GWV. Why? If I'm coaching them, I coach the second and third. I coach the second and third weeks of the months only. There's a reason. You know why I coach the second and third weeks? It's mid-month. So if it's mid-month and their current PRV as a star consultant is $300 or $200, we have a problem. Because by mid-month, you should be at what, guys? At least 500, and I even stretch it to you guys with 1,000. So again, it's setting these leaders up. And guess what? If you're doing the coaching forms from certified, their PRV is going to be fabulous if they're doing what you're doing, because at certified, what are we doing? We're setting them up with a system for them for PRV. Does it make sense why these forms flow? That's why it's so important. And then how many team members do you have? How many are active? Guys, some of these people don't, I'll look at forms sometimes with the how many are active. They don't know what active frontline is, right? Some of you on here probably are like, what's active frontline? Yeah, active frontline is something that we need to make sure, even at the, can you back up a little bit? even as the lead consultant, you need to make sure that that lead consultant that you're working with understands active frontline. I mean, my certified is going to know what active frontline are. They have to. You can't promote without it. So that should be something that you're literally using. And then that's why we have the pictures above. It's making it easier for you. We've got to stop working so extra. We need to be efficient. We need to be efficient. It should not be, okay, well, I'm going to email you right now what you need to do to promote. No, I have it right here. So open up your form and we're going to go over it, right? So again, roadblock, if they don't know what active frontline are, we're going to back up. We're not going to talk about team stuff. We're going to talk about them and what their system is for training new recruits. How many of you on here right now have a system for training new team members? A checklist, a list, a system for repetitively training them. A new consultant checklist, I want you to comment. And I want you to be honest. And if you don't have one, it's okay. You could get one. But you have to have a system for how you train new recruits. When I'm looking at active frontline and people with low active frontline, it's two reasons they have low active frontline. Number one, they're not recruiting. They're doing one every month or two there. And then not only are they not recruiting, but they are not training them the right way. So it's super important. Tiff, so I'm assuming that's my Tiffany, one of my directors. She just said she had 4 hit shooting star and 2 hit certified within 15 days. I've had 6 people that have joined this month. 4 of them are almost certified. 2 of them are certified. The other 2, I'm setting up their launch parties. It is not optional, by the way, for me to recruit somebody and say, okay, have fun with your kit. Bye. Guys, I used to be that person. You should not be recruiting somebody and not helping them with their launch party. We can do virtual launch parties right from our home. If you don't think that you have the investable time, which if Chloe Cox can do it with 7,000 people and everything else, if I can sit down and do these launch parties for these people using my setup behind me, you can too. You should not be telling these people, and I'm telling you, you can let them go and not do anything, but you know what happens when you do a launch party for them? It's on-hand training, it's on-hand learning. You're helping them reach shooting star, which is going to boost their momentum, which is going to get them halfway to certified. You are killing like 5 birds with 1 stone. It is extremely beneficial to help launch somebody's business. And if you think that you don't have to help somebody launch their business, well, you're already starting off with some slack leadership skills, and you just need to back up, reassess. If you haven't done the launch parties, guys, don't be upset. It's fine. But what I'm trying to say is, when you don't do it, do you think they're going to do it when they have a new recruit? No, because they're following the leader. They're following you. So they're not going to think it's important to throw somebody a launch party. They're not going to think it's important to go live with their kid. They're not going to think it's important to reach shooting star. They're not going to think it's important to get certified because you haven't went over it, because you have no way of tracking how you're training them. So that is super important, okay? Do you have one-on-one schedule with your frontline? You guys should know why that's important. They should be doing that as a star consultant. How are you connecting with your downline? Guys, you as a star consultant, if you're on here right now, even a lead. I already said in the beginning, when I was a lead, I literally had, I would do once a month calls. It was called free conference call. Super like old school. I did it with 1 team member, and she was actually my family member. So there's that. And I started with 1. There is no reason as to why you should not be doing your own Zoom calls. I don't care if your upline isn't doing them, do your own. It's your team. Why are you waiting on your upline to lead your team? That doesn't make any sense. So Zoom calls, I want to know, how are they connecting? What's going on? Do they, like, what are we doing? Relationships build trust. Trust builds people that want to work with you. Trust, value in, value out. I always tell my leaders, and I tell especially my higher up leaders, you give them value, they're going to give you value. Okay? Value in, value out. So do you have a team page? Guys, at a star consultant, I would say star consultant with 8 or more, you need a team page. It's time. Describe in detail what sponsoring looks like to you. This is so important. They're a star consultant, and you can see again, all of these are required. Every one of them are required. This is a paragraph answer. This is a multiple choice paragraph. So I want to know what sponsoring looks like, because I want to see what they think it means, right? So you could change this question to fit your brain, But what you need to understand is they need to explain to you what sponsoring is. So like, what are they doing? Are they just writing it on sticky notes, or do we have a legit, like, systematic way? Not that sticky notes are bad, but sticky notes must be transferred to something. You can't just have sticky notes these are sticky notes that don't get transferred into some sort of system. So this is where, when you see what they say with what sponsoring looks like, when I read that, and I'm like, oh, we need to talk about a dream team list. We need to talk about Earn a Kit, because then it's like, well, we talked about this at Lead, so there's still some confusion. But guess what? If you're already doing the coaching call forms at Lead, this is why you got to start early. This normally isn't a problem for me, unless it's someone that was 4 down for me that didn't get trained or coached or mentored by their leader, and then we're happy to talk about this. So do you have a follow-up system for your customers? Guys, star consultants should have follow-up systems for their customers. Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of them don't. And that's an issue. So what are we going to do if they say, and then it says, what is it, right? That's important to me, because I don't care what if you say yes or no. I want to know what it is, right? So you guys know, if you've ever coached with me, I also don't care what you say you're going to do. I care what you show me you're doing. I don't care if you say you're leading. I want to see the forms that you're using, and I want to see the coaching calls. I want to see you screenshotting your people. If you're an anchored sense, anchored in, I want to see you screenshot your coaching calls. You know what's sad? I'm literally still like the only one who shares when I do coaching calls. I'll keep doing it forever and ever, amen. Because that's a behavior I want repeated. Yeah, but I'm doing that because you should be doing the same. Why would your team want to work with you when they don't see that it's beneficial? Every time I share that I'm coaching with somebody now, I share that image, and I share it like, so excited for Jessica. These are her goals, whatever. I want other people to get pumped, to be inspired, to be like, I'm ready to coach. Yeah. There is a method. I don't do it because I freaking have time to get on Facebook on my leadership page and do it. I do it because I know that my other leaders are going to see, this is what Chloe does. I'm not sitting back and chilling. I am building leaders, and you should do the same. So, biggest obstacle you're facing in your business currently, obviously that is super important as a star consultant. I want to know what systems are working for you. If they're saying
you're focusing on the effectiveness.
Exactly. If they're saying, if they say here, what is the biggest obstacle you're facing? And they're saying they can't get their sales up, but they're a star consultant. Guess what happens though? Normally it's sales. Normally it's parties at this point. And that means that they didn't stop and take the time to customize and make a PRV system work for them. Okay? So, Ashley, you know Justin's on his stuff. Brandon's the same way. They're the same person. So he's in his own world. I just live in it. So biggest obstacle, that's going to help you know, okay, they're saying it's their team, but then it's like, if you look at their PRV and it's low, guys, go back to the first, like, follow the legs. That's how you coach. Whatever the weakest area is, you need to observe it, and that's what you coach on. I don't care if they say their biggest obstacle is if it's their team, if their PRV is low, because they're not going to be able to sustain that. They're not going to be able, do you want to feed her real quick? Okay. They're not going to be able to sustain that team because their personal business takes the back burner. And what I've noticed when people are star consultants and above is they get so knees deep in their team. And I know that because I used to be that person, that your business falls behind. And it's not even just certifieds to SSCs. I'm seeing directors, star directors, superstar directors putting themselves and their systems on the back burner because they're putting it as not a priority. Your personal business has to be a priority. If you've not nailed your sales, you keep working it, baby, till you figure out what system is going to work for you. You keep sharing on social media and doing all the things so you can grow your network. When you skip a leg, you will struggle. And like I said in the beginning, the reason a lot of people right now are promoting, but they may struggle, is because they skipped legs. They skipped them because they got excited, because they thought, oh, I'm a leader, I got to do all these things. No, your team is going to learn by what you do, right? Hashtag how I'm working. That's why I did that. They're going to learn by how you're working. They are looking at what you do, not what you say you do. You should not be coaching your teams on how to have high PRV when you're not challenging yourself to have high PRV. And I say that because leaders need to lead. We need to stop telling people how to lead, and we need to show people how we lead, because you're not going to be able to teach somebody how to overcome as a star consultant their biggest obstacle in their business if it's PRV, if you haven't really nailed and figured out what's going to work for your PRV. And for the longest time, I tried Maven. I hate it. I know some of y'all love it. Great. Use it. I hated it. You know why? I get 50 million texts a day on this phone, and I needed to pull away. So what I did is created my own. I stopped as a superstar director, okay, 8 years, and I created my own. It is never too late to start. Took me 8 years to create that. Don't do that. You deserve more. Like, your personal business deserves more. And if your team doesn't respect that, then they can sit down and they can wait. Because if your personal business is not first every day and you don't secure that, you're already teaching your team to not worry about their personal business and to get straight into freaking chaos. That's what happens. And I know there's people on here that are not speaking up that know that they've been in that spot because you grew probably very quick and you were very focused on your team, that your personal business no longer mattered. And we're not doing that in 2020 and on. We're going to stop and take care of ourselves, and we're going to make sure that until we nail that PRV and we nail that system, we're not moving forward. And we'll show our teams how we're working, but we're not going to do coaching calls, and we're not going to do those things until we stop and get it together. That's why first week of the month is all about Chloe. I posted it on Anchored Sense today. I posted my entire month, how I work. If I can do that with 7,000 people, you can for sure do it with your groups. And so last thing, what is your love language? All right. Next thing, SSC. So I'm going to fly through these, but literally you can just see. I want you to get my brain. So when you're literally filling these out, you know what to coach on. Biggest thing, follow the legs. Follow all 3 legs. If they have a weak leg that's above the other leg, you focus on that leg. If PRV is low, you're not going to focus on recruiting. Okay. So, and yeah, I'm sorry this is so long, but honestly, this is normally a four training series. So I'm doing honestly the best I can, and I totally understand. I'm extremely tired myself. So, and thank you for being on, Meg. Everybody for being on. I know it's very long, and that's why I'm saying break it up. Okay, whenever you're telling people to watch this, say break it up half and half. Okay, so superstar consultant. All right. You can see same stuff up here. You can copy and paste it. Image, you can add your image right here. All right. So I'm going to talk about how I choose who I coach with in a minute. So superstar consultant, I don't know why that says dat. Day you join. Okay. Again, have you completed the AIM program with all 6 videos? We ain't going to have, so it's 6 videos, not 4. We're not going to have that no more. It's this series, 1 series. Okay. If they click no as a superstar consultant, we're not coaching until they watch that, because I've been coaching them on that since at least star, remember? Honestly, I'm going to start coaching my people to watch this at lead. If they're really serious, they should have already watched this. So what does that show me? I've been telling my superstar consultants to do these things for their business, and they're not doing them, but they want to get on the phone with me. No, it's not ugly. It's a business. If they're not going to take the effort and they want you to put a spoon in their mouth like this and feed them, nah, I'll make the food, but you got to come to the table, baby. You got to come and receive it. I'm not going to sit here and train you as a superstar consultant on how to pull a report when you haven't even literally watched this report training right here that I have put in front of you since lead consultant. Do you see why coaching is so important right now? So previous month PRV and GWV and current, guys, that's always going to be important. You want to see that it's growing. And if it's current month and it is in the beginning of the month, it's going to be less, but you still have to look and see, okay, are we growing? Are we evolving? Are we doing all of these things? Okay. And then provide in detail how you work your business in 7 days. This is so important as a superstar consultant. I see so many superstar consultants doing so many things that are not important. If you are a superstar consultant and you are all over the place, it's because you're not prioritizing the stool. When you wake up every day, and people say there's label systems, there's all these systems for how you can work, but it's very simple in my brain. The first week of the month needs to be your business if you're a leader. How can you lead when you don't even have your stuff together. That first week's for me. Call me selfish, call me whatever you want, whatever. You need to make sure that you handle your business first, and you need to be teaching them the same. A lot of these leaders, a lot of people are jumping straight into their team the first of the month. I love my team, but I'm not doing coaching calls the first week of the month because Chloe's got to make sure her PRV is set up, that I've caught up with my follow-up system, that I've caught up with. I do my team mail outs, my top team and my top group sales. I do those things behind the scenes, but I'm not coaching. I'm not doing those things. It's about me. Call me selfish. I call it, I want them to want my job. Second and third week, focusing on team, focusing on coaching calls. Last week of the month, you guys can see on Anchored In kind of what I talked about. I'm really like lightening up. I'm finishing everything out. I'm getting set up for June. Today I booked 7 parties for June. I set up my June calendar. I did all that. So when you ask detail for how they worked in the past 7 days, they're going to assess what's going on. They're going to figure out real quick as an SSC that they don't have it together. And that's where you can come in and help them. But you have to have it together to teach them. You can't coach the coach when you've skipped steps. And that's why I'm so big on that with this coaching call training this time around, is you as the leader have to nail the first 2 legs before you start this leg.
Yep.
All right. How many recruits have you had in the past 90 days? Guys, super important. There's a lot of people.
Should be at least 6.
Guys, and it's not that. It'll be 3. It'll be 2. It'll be 2 and then 2 reinstatements. Reinstatements are great, but what I care about is new recruits. Okay, reinstatements are great. I love mine. I have one that just promoted to star. She's awesome. However, I'm talking about brand spanking new consultants. It's not somebody that logged in the workstation and reinstated. Again, they're important, but new recruits, 2 a month, 2,000 PRV, 2 recruits. That's what you need to be training your leaders. Current team size, guys, TWV. How are you consistently coaching your team and holding them accountable? They should already be doing one-on-ones. Remember the STAR consultant form? This is why we have that on there. Do you have a follow-up system for your customers? What is it? I'm going to ask them till I'm blue in the face what it is, because again, I didn't have a consistent one that worked for me for 8 years. And the past 2 months is the highest PRV I've ever had in my life. And it's because I'm using a system that works for me. Stop saying you don't have a system that works for you when it's your ability to create it. If a system doesn't work for you for PRV, you need to sit your booty down and you need to make one. You need to make your list. You need to make what's going to work for you, period. All right, what is your biggest obstacle? Do you have a hard time holding yourself accountable? What does accountability mean to you? This is very important as a SSC. Why? If they're saying, oh, well, I can't do this, I can't do this, I struggle with this. Well, we need to teach you how to be self-sufficient, baby. We need to teach you how to hold yourself accountable. Nobody's holding Chloe Cox accountable. Nobody's texting me telling me like, do it, girl, you got this. You're doing so good this month. I've never had that. You know who holds me accountable? Me. So this is going to allow you to teach them how to be an accountable business owner. And last thing, what is your love language? And then going into,
because love language is, and we don't need to share other.
No, and so going into director, there's a couple more things, and then SSD, there's a couple more things. So you can see with the forms
it's
that
geared to the title to get them to the next level and to self-assess.
Yep, and then so for director, there's just a little bit more leadership stuff. I want to know their passionate purpose as director, right? A lot of you guys on here tonight, you said you didn't know your vision, right? It's because nobody's asked you. That's important.
Yeah, you should know why you're in Scentsy.
You should be asking, especially at a director, and tell me the most important topic you want help with. That's important as a director. And then STAR director and SSD is based off of things like the Circle of Excellence, is based off of Active Frontline, all those things. So do y'all have any questions about the coaching forms?
And real quick, before we go into questions, I wanted to say one thing.
I need to say something.
You say something
asked
first.
a question.
You do something first.
I pick who I want to coach.
Off the reports that we just showed.
Off of the reports. So I choose throughout the month. I already know exactly who I'm going to coach in June. You know why? Because throughout this entire month, I've been pulling numbers and I have an entire list. I keep it simple. I don't use a form for that. I already have too many forms. June coaching calls. You guys can't see that. I don't know why it's being so ridiculous, but
it's because of the light.
I literally have everybody who I'm going to coach in June. So the first Friday of the month, after I finish my business for the week, I send them a coaching call link and they sign up. You can send them their form. You can do it whatever you want. I do Calendly. If you want to know what that is, download the app. I'm not going to get into that, but that makes it very efficient and easy. I choose who I want to coach. Quit asking your team who wants to be coached.
Exactly.
And I'm saying that because you're creating a really, really bad culture of, okay, I need that pep talk, girl.
Or hand-holding.
I need that pep talk. No, like, I love you. I'll give you a little pep voice text, but these are coaching calls, and you're not coaching the same people every month. Quit coaching the same people every month. This is something we did not teach in the first AIM program, but when you coach the same people every month, you're creating really, really bad habits because you're teaching them, oh, it's fine. I'll just coach you again and again and again. You're missing people. You're taking time off your front line that are new. That's important.
Yep.
My front line that are new, that are killing it, they're important. And then you're also, you should not be coaching somebody a second month in a row unless they promote. For example, I had Ashley Hatley and Shauna Stowe promote. Shauna Stowe, I coached last month. I am coaching her again in June because she promoted. There's different things we need to talk about.
You have to get them ready for the next step.
You do coaching calls were not meant to be every month. Nope. They're not meant to be with the same people. I am looking at the reports and I'm looking at top performers. Simple. I'm looking at top performers. I'm looking at who.
Skill versus will.
Yes, I don't
identify.
I don't care what people say. I like to see what they're doing. And I don't mean it ugly, but guys, we got to stop coaching people
Numbers don't lie.
That are leeches and that are sucking the life out of you. You need to work with people that have the drive, that have the hustle, that are showing you that they want it. The sooner you do that, you're going to build leaders quicker. But if you're going to sit back and you're going to work with people that are minimalist, and I don't mean that bad, but it's like, guys, we have Guide to Growth. We have all these trainings. Like, you don't need to be coaching people because you want to save them.
No.
You need to be coaching top performers. What does that mean? Back to the 3 legs. High PRD.
Back to the reports, back to the commission, back to the behaviors you want to create. If you're wanting to create the behavior of dependency, then coach the same person every month, every other week. Don't create the culture of dependency. Create the culture of empowering, changing lives, entrepreneurship, women and men under you, so that you only need to coach them one time, and each time they promote to the next level so you can get them to the next level, to the top. You don't need to coach somebody that's been a certified lead and star consultant who's still at the same position both every month. The purpose of coaching calls, and my job when I talked to Chloe about coaching calls, was to coach them up or out. And I said that earlier. So when you're thinking of coaching calls, it's up or out.
Yeah.
At the point of the 3rd coaching call, if they still have not gotten it, or if they have not started doing the behaviors to get them to the next level,
cut the cord.
It's off. You've done your job in Scentsy as a leader, giving them all the tools they need to be successful. That is a will issue, not a skill issue.
Yep. And with the coaching calls, I'm still really bad at this, but if they are certified to STAR, I try and spend 20 minutes. If they are SSC to SSD, anywhere from 30 minutes to 45 minutes. Please make sure that you're keeping these calls. If you're using the form, you know what to go off of. If you're using the form and you're using the 3 legs, because you're doing the 3 legs, you know when you look at that form, I don't care if they're an SSC. If their PRD is low, you need to talk about that. If their active frontline is low, you need to talk about that. I don't care if they said their biggest obstacle is connecting with their team. No, your active frontline right now is 1. Your biggest issue, I think.
Your team is 1. So if you can't connect with 1, you ain't going to connect with 100.
So in the way that I coach, so I have a lot of people that I can pick and pull now. And so I try to do, the 2nd and 3rd week is when I coach. I do no more than 10 each week, 2nd and 3rd week. And that is really cutting it close. And so you're going to go and grow as you evolve and as your team grows, but you need to protect your time. You can, every time you say yes to somebody, you say no to yourself. I'm going to tell you something, your team don't give a crap about you. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, they want to get the information. They don't care how busy you are. They don't care how stressed you are. They don't care about your personal business, which is why some of y'all struggling in your personal business, because you're letting that team overtake you. You need to protect your time. You need to protect when you coach. So what I recommend, start with 1. Don't overdo it. I don't do more than 3 coaching calls a day.
2
some days.
So
Yeah, 2 some days. So when I say 10 a week, that's 10 max for the 2nd and 3rd week. Now, everybody else, I have people all voice text and do this and do that. But guess what? If they wanted to get in on my coaching call,
effective touches is what
if they wanted to get on my coaching call for June and I couldn't make it happen, I say, you know what? Don't worry. I'll get you on for July. And that's what I do. And I start creating my other list. And then I'm pulling reports throughout the month, seeing who's promoting, seeing who are new rock stars, and I'm generating new people I want to work with. Performers and drive and hustle. That's what you look at when you look at who to coach. You don't coach people that are sucking the life out of you. You don't coach people that are negative. You don't coach people that make excuses. I don't work with people that make excuses. Sorry, I don't. You can make excuses with Linda over there in the corner. You're not going to make excuses with me. If you want to coach, we're going to coach on how you can be effective. And my team knows now too, like especially my frontline, if they want to work with me, they reach out. Sometimes I reach out to some of my people and they don't even say nothing back to me. You know what that shows me? I don't need to work with them. I don't care if they're a superstar director. If they're not going to want to work with me, I am not going to beg to work with somebody. I am working with the people that are performing and that are literally doing the activities that I'm creating in my culture, right? They're doing the activities.
So where you can coach the effectiveness to
they're
get them
doing
the
the
results.
activities, so I know that they are somebody that wants to grow. I'm not going to get down with somebody that's negative and wants to cry for 30 minutes about their life. I know life is hard. I get it. But this is a coaching call, okay? So I know this went way over, and I am so sorry. We will upload everything at some point tomorrow for you guys. Do y'all have any questions? We'll take the last couple minutes for questions. And so this is a 3-hour training. So you're really gonna, if you want to break it up for your leaders, do hour and a half. Okay, so Tiffany asked, Chloe, if you have an absent leader that goes MIA and dives back in, how do you transition handing their team back to them once they get their personal business in check?
They need to start over. Boom.
Yeah. So they need to start over, and then what I would do, Tiffany, is I would work with them on a coaching call. See, what are you going to show me, baby? Right? Like, numbers don't lie. What are you doing? Are you recruiting, and are you having high PRV? And until they get that together, I'm going to work with their team until I can transition them to the point of where they can do coaching calls. And then if they're not going to do it, then I'll just coach their people. And their people will probably out promote them. And it's actually happening right now with a lot of leaders. Their people under them are actually out promoting them because I'm coaching those people because their leader doesn't want to work with me. And so you have to be very business driven in that aspect, because you cannot think, Tiffany, like you could be leaving those people behind. You cannot trust somebody.
You can't just turn it over to somebody just because they want to come back and be hot when everything's good.
Like I said in the beginning, right? A lot of people want to be hot right now because it's good, but they literally haven't led a day in their life. They literally are not leading. They're not building relationships. So until you trust that they can transition to that because their PRV and their recruiting's up and their active frontline's up, perfect. We'll transition it, right? You can do a Zoom call with them, right? And the team under them and do it that way. But you are not going to let them go just because, they want to be a leader this month. That's called an optional leader.
Yep.
All right? So any other
lukewarm people are not welcome. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, no, and it's like you can definitely be lukewarm, but don't be upset when I work with your people.
Yeah.
It's like it's not about being petty. It's not about favorites or any of that. I'm going to work with people that are producing, that are hungry, that have drive, and that are showing me that they want this. I'm not leaving them behind no more. I did it for too long. So do y'all have any other questions for us or for Justin? We're going to give it one other minute. Any other questions? And
almost a 3-hour training.
Yes, it was very long, but we knew that it had to be done. I'm probably going to be dead tomorrow, but that's okay.
Look, and I'll just say this about the coaching calls before another question comes up. I will say this, the coaching calls and the questions that we ask are driven to actually have people self-assess before they even get on the phone with us, because the reason why coaching forms were important because Chloe literally would be on the phone with one person for 2 hours.
Yeah.
The reason why the questions in the forms and a guideline for how you coach is so important is because you can stick to, hey, this is a coaching call. I'm helping your business. Yeah, we may be best friends, but let's talk about Scentsy. All right, great. Okay. This was just meant for a coaching call. I'll call you tomorrow and we can catch up online.
Perfect example. Me and one of my star directors, Amber Willoughby, are best friends. And we literally did a coaching call 2 weeks ago. And it was all business. Like, and we FaceTime almost every day. So you have to separate it. Somebody asked, if somebody's not performing, but they want to call. Katrina, I think you answered your own questions. Are we going to work with somebody that's literally not performing at all? No, we're not. We're
Give
going
them the tools to be successful.
Yes.
Show them all the training videos and say, hey, do this first. Show me that you're doing the activities, then we'll coach.
And that's what I do. I literally am like, you know what? We really need to focus on getting your PRV to 500.
PRV is the first thing.
Here's a couple training videos
Yep.
for you. I want, and some people can get mad and say, oh, they threw a training at me. Well, I'm not going to get on the phone with you.
You can't
When
coach
you-
work ethic.
When you
Work
have
ethic is
not
inside.
showed up to the trainings that I've given you to be successful. If they haven't done Guide to Growth and they want to do a call with me, if they're a star consultant and above, that's the first thing I tell them is Guide to Growth. I'm telling my certified consultants to do Guide to Growth. And so what I would say, Katrina, is give them some little tasks to get them excited, not just like, oh, I'm not going to work with you, but hey, let's get to this level first. You can do this without us getting on the phone. And then whenever they have done that, right, and they're showing that they're doing an activity and they're showing that they've watched and implemented a
Then you
training,
can coach on effective.
then you can coach. Don't coach somebody that's not performing. You're going to waste your time. You're going to waste their
For
time.
sure.
They don't want to run a business. They want a friend, or they want to vent, or they want to do something like that. And I just don't know. I just don't have the time for that.
No.
I really just don't. Let's see. Somebody from Australia can join under you. Y'all have to enroll in that region. Okay.
Yes.
You have to enroll in that region in your account tab in the very bottom. Any other questions at all? Any questions? And thank you guys for being on so late.
No, you can't do it for them, Bonnie. So that was the question. Just look, and that's the thing. The minute somebody joins, you have to instill the drive. So one thing that you cannot do as a leader, you cannot change somebody's drive, and you cannot change somebody's behavior and work ethic. That is something that's self-assessed within them, which is why the coaching calls and the questions that are asked on their coaching calls is supposed to, through every training I've been through as a leader, is supposed to be open-ended enough to the point where we answer all the questions that they may have for us through them just reading what we have for them there and self-assessing what they've done.
They already know the problem. And
they already know the problem. They should come to us
Yeah.
and say, hey, I filled this form out. I know what my problem is. Coach me on the E. Don't coach me on the activity. You know what you need to do. Coach me on how to be effective at this. That's what a coach has to do, is coach on the effectiveness.
And also the effectiveness of what you're doing, right? Looking at the system you're using for how you
Yes.
launch those frontline, looking at yourself and saying, okay, am I doing everything I know I can do to create a business owner? And if you can say you've done that, then you can, Justin, then you can move on, and you can know that you did everything you could do, which is why I'm really, really big on you guys customizing your own system for what you do with these new recruits.
Yes,
and
Nikki.
for coaching calls, yeah, I'm looking at my reports, all the reports.
The month before.
Yeah, the month before.
So for instance,
No, I'm already
month of and month before, both.
No, the month before. So I have June mapped out. I know who I'm going to work with because I pull reports, guys. That's simple. Pull your reports. You're going to look at your reports. You're going to look at who's performing. And throughout the month, you're going to add, whether it's the note section of your phone or pin it, whatever it is you do, you need to be and guess what? You should know who's performing, because you should be in the habit or get in the habit of knowing how to pull reports. Right? That's why reports were missing from the first training that we did with the AIM series. There was, oh yeah, just find who you want to work with, ask who wants to be coached, post on your team page. No. That is not okay. You have to look at who you want to work with. So let's see. Any other questions?
For the person who ever
Okay, read it.
to, hey guys, what do you tell a person that wants to join your team because they never had sponsored person reach out? They call Scentsy, but seems they can't change unless they live. Yeah, that's true. They would have to reinstate under you, but why do that? Honestly, if they reach out to you as a good person, you try to give them the tools to be successful and let them do what they need to do. Because guess what? Chloe and I have SSDs that are on our pages that are not under us, but they promoted an SSD because they watched our trainings.
Yeah.
So it's about taking care of anybody and everybody. It's focusing on the people. Even if it doesn't affect you, you focus on people, and guess what? It's going to come back some way or another.
Yeah, and it's 3 months. 3 months they can come back and rejoin, okay? They can reinstate after 3 months. And so any other,
You need to
hang
talk
on,
about
let me,
that
Candace.
first.
Get it, Candace. I see you, girl. You're probably on my list to send a video to tomorrow. Because that's what I'm doing tomorrow, sending my new director's videos. Is being a director at this point doable? Candace says she went from star to director since March. She has a team of 18. That's pretty good. But only 6, almost 7 frontline. I know I need more. I've recruited 5 this month as being director. Oh yeah, girl, you're doing
Just
it.
focus on
Keep
getting them active.
girl. Keep.
Help them.
Don't focus on getting them active. Launch their business, girl. Get
but still, active is important because that's how you get to the next level.
They're new. They're new. Get them. Launch them. I don't care about active
Lead.
till after they get certified. Then we can decide if you want to be active 200 or if we're going to go to lead. There's 2 options. But you are going to work on getting them to star, getting them to certified, and then guess what, Candace? You're going to keep recruiting heavy. I promoted to SSD because I had heavy sales and heavy recruiting. That's it. No systems. But guess what? Y'all have systems now in these coaching forms, so you're going to be able to do it much quicker. So yeah, you are definitely on the right track.
One more question, Ashley Scott's, and then we have to go.
How would you recommend doing coaching calls, juggling your 9 to 5 and fan, but respecting yourself with business hours? So Ash, what I would do is on the days off. On your off days is when you need to schedule your calls.
What if their days are Monday through Friday? Just saying, 9 to 5 is usually a Monday through Friday, so you have to schedule after 5 or before 9.
Do it in your car on the way home, baby.
Before 9 and after 5.
Have your Google Drive ready to go. You can pull that mess up.
Do 2 a day. Do 1 at 8 and do 1 at 6.
Yeah, or not. You don't want to do it walking in the door. So you want to do it on. I would say, Ash, like on the way to work. Honestly, I know this sounds crazy, but I used to do them sometimes on my lunch break. And then you could do it on the way home. Sometimes I know like what Chastity Robinson does when she is teaching is she will pull one on a Saturday. And I know that's family time, but you've really got to figure out because that coaching leg is
entrepreneurship is long.
That coaching leg is not optional. It is necessary. And so I would say, Ash, and this is something me and you can work on. You can text me individually, but you need to map it around like when you're in the car, on the way to work, on the way home from work. And when you have that form, it's going to make it really, really quick. So you know exactly what you're going to talk with them about before you get on the phone with them.
And that's it. We have to.
And that is it. So we're going to stop the recording. Thank you so much